as soon as these fire-breathing dragons roll out onto the track, we're going to get started with Midwest Modified. Heat number 1 on the pole is going to be the 83 of Ben Newell, and to his outside, the 16A of Shannon Geller. Row number 2 is going to be the 87 of Aaron Odell, and to his outside, the 8K of Tyler Cadunston. Row 3, you got the 65 junior of Carter Jackson, and the 27 of Terry Williams. In row number 4, all by his lonesome, the 23 of Mark Big Daddy Simon. Eight laps the distance here for the 4th of July Spectacular at the mighty Midway. 3 heat races here for your Midwest Modified. Everybody will go to the main. Here we go, lights are down. 1 to go from the starter stand. They're going to be green flag when we come out of turn number 4. Down the backstretch, Ben Newell, Shannon Geller is going to be the pole setters, the leaders, the captain of the crew. Down at turn number 4, green flag's going to be up and out and in the air. We're already going to be 3 wide back here in the mid-package. Ben Newell's going to jump out in an early race lead. Here comes the 8K Tyler Cadunston. He's going to get up to number 2nd spot. And Mark Simon going to be sitting there in 4th. He started at the back. Now he's in 4th, working on 3rd. Lap 1 going to go to the 83 of Ben Newell. Now everybody kind of single file right now down to the bottom side of the speedway. As it is the 83 of Ben Newell out front. Tyler Cadunston 2nd, Shannon Geller's 3rd, Mark Simon 4th, Terry Williams 5th, and Carter Jackson. Whoa! Carter Jackson about took out that infield tractor tire. As we're going to stay clean and green. Down to turn 4 coming to the line. It is still the 83 of Ben Newell. Tyler Cadunston sits in that number 2 spot. Shannon Geller, Mark Simon going to try to go top shelf. Trying to find a little more speed around the mighty Midway as we are single file right now. Mark Simon still trying to roll in the top side, see if he can get some momentum going. As Ben Newell starting to pull away from the 8K of Tyler Cadunston. As Shannon Geller sits in 3rd, Mark Simon 4th, Terry Williams in that number 5 spot, and Carter Jackson rounds out the field in 6th. Oh, Terry Williams goes around right in front of Carter Jackson. Yellow is out, yellow is out. So the first caution of the night coming out for the 27 of Terry Williams. So we're kind of single file right now. We got to push the tire back out. Are you wearing 2 cowboy hats? Wow. What, one wasn't enough? Had to have a second? She's making a fashion statement. It's kind of like that 2 eyes are better than 1. Well, for her, it's 2 hats are better than 1. Here we go. Delaware double file restart. Ben Newell out front. Cadunston Geller, row number 2. Simon Carter, row 3. Green flag back up in the air. As Tyler Cadutson now down to the bottom side of Shannon Geller. Geller up on the top side, trying to get around him into the number 2 spot. Mark Simon's got Carter Jackson battling. And Simon's going to shut the door on Carter Jackson. Jackson's going to stay up there. Oh, Simon goes around. Mark Simon all by his lonesome. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Yellow flag coming out for the second time, this time for the 23 of Mark Big Daddy Simon as he looped it around over there in turn 4. I know what it was. He seen that this gal was wearing 2 hats and was like, what? And it caused him to spin out. Yep, 2 hats caused Mark Simon to spin out. All right, we're going to go single file restart, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, bumper to bumper restart. Single file going to be it. Ben Newell going to lead him on down into turn 3. Cadutson, Geller, Carter, Williams. Oh, Simon. Lights are down. Mark Simon going to go back to the tail. That was a bad start. We're going to try it again. Green flag is in the air. As Mark Simon's going to go right to the top shelf, going to try to get up some ground. Ben Newell is going to create some separation between him and the rest of the field. As they come out of turn 4, it is Ben Newell to the white flag. 1 more trip around. Tyler Cadutson second. Shannon Geller third. Out of turn 4, checkered flag for the 83 of Ben Newell. Tyler Cadutson second. Shannon Geller, your top 3. Here comes heat number 2 for your Powri Midwest Modifieds on the pole. It's going to be the 7 of William Garner, and to his outside the 7C of Derek Cook. Row 2 going to be the 6 of Corey Henson and the 39 of Blake Muhlenberg. Row 3, you got the 15R of Oakley Ragland and the 28D of Dylan Dampier. And row 4 going to be the 75 of Colby Lathrop. Flag out of turn 4. 3 wide right here in the mid-pack. As it is William Garner, your race lead. Look at Oakley Ragland, going to make it 3 deep. Time to sell it cheap. As they go down into turn 3, coming out of turn number 4, lap 1, going to go to William Garner. Derek Cook, Blake Muhlenberg takes that top 3 spot. Oh, Corey Henson goes around. Dylan Dampier into the wall hard. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Corey Henson spun around. Dylan Dampier went high, got off the track and into the wall hard. And Colby Lathrop spun to avoid hitting either one of them. And I believe Dylan Dampier is broke. They're calling for the tow truck. So tough break for Dylan Dampier as he smashes the wall at the top of 1 and 2. You guys having fun so far? Here we go, Delaware double file restart. William Garner going to be out front by his lonesome. Derek Cook second, Blake Muhlenberg third, Oakley Ragland fourth, and Corey Henson rounding out that top 5. And Colby Lathrop going to be right there at the tail. Lathrop, I say it wrong every time. I'll say it right, and then I'll be like, no, that's wrong. I say it the other way, then I get yelled at. Out of turn 4, green flag going to be back in the air. Rail motor off down to the 1 and 2. William Garner going to be out there. Here comes the 7C of Derek Cook, 3-wheeling that thing. And he's going to be right there to the back bumper of William Garner. Oakley Ragland, Corey Henson going to be door to door through 3 and 4. As it is Garner, Cook, Muhlenberg, Ragland takes over 4th. And Henson going to be sitting there in that number 5 spot. File right now, same order it was last lap. However, Oakley Ragland starts to gain the 39 of Blake Muhlenberg as they're going to cross the stripe. It is still William Garner, your race leader. Derek Cook going to be sitting in second now. Oakley Ragland down to the bottom side of Blake Muhlenberg. You got a new number 3 coming out of turn 4. William Garner out front. Derek Cook second. It is the William Garner show right now. He's going to go into 3, coming out of turn number 4. You got the doctor's jacket, 1 to go. Derek Cook second, Oakley Ragland third, Blake Muhlenberg 4th. Colby Lathrop into that number 5 spot as he's going to battle it out with Corey Henson. Coming out of turn 4, checkered flag to the 7 of William Garner. Derek Cook takes second, and Oakley Ragland in the 15R are going to take home that number 3 spot. And that's going to wrap up heat number 2. Up next going to be heat number 3. On the pole going to be the 34C of the Wheelman, Jake Carter. And to his outside, the 44R, Randall Cushing. Row 2 is going to be the 17 of Garrett Parker. And the 55 of Adriel Shepard. Row 3 going to be the 84 of Dayton Newell and the 25J of Ryan Hargis. Lights are down. Into 3 we're going to go. Carter leads them in. Cushing to his outside. Green cone, green flag. Here we go. 8 trips around. Jake Carter going to lead the charge out of turn 2. Look out. Oh! Almost a little bit of contact there between Cushing and Hargis as they come out of turn 2. Your race leader, the 34C, and Jake Carter going to take lap 1. Garrett Parker, Dayton Newell, your top 3. Adriel Shepard sits in 4th. Ryan Hargis now going to take over the number 4 spot as they come out of turn 2 down the back stretch. Jake Carter going top shelf as Dayton Newell's now down to the bottom side of Garrett Parker. Parker got to play some defense now as he's got Daytona down to the bottom side of him. Jake Carter still your race leader. Dayton Newell slingshots his way into that number 2 spot. Ryan Vargas up into the number 4 spot. April Shepard 5th, and Randall Cushing rounds out the field in 6th. The wheelman out front, Jake Carter. He's got Dayton Newell sitting in 2nd. Dayton Newell, no stranger to this track. He knows it very, very well. As they're going to go down the back stretch. Dayton Newell all over the back bumper of Jake Carter. Carter goes to the top side through 3 and 4. He comes out of turn number 4. You got a new race leader, the 84 at Dayton Newell. Vargas now down to the bottom side of Parker. There is a lot of separation between the cars here. Flags in the air. Your race leader coming out of turn number 4. We're going to see the checkered flag for the 84 at Dayton Newell. Jake Carter 2nd, Garrett Parker 3rd. Hey, race fans, if you are driving the side-by-side that's parked out front by the grandstand gate, I am being told you need to move it. That is for employees. So if you drove the side-by-side and you parked it by the front gate, I need you to go down and move your side-by-side, please. Again, if you got the side-by-side parked by the front gate, I need you to go move it. And that is going to wrap up our Midwest Modified heat races. Up next, we got one heat for your Powri Super Stocks. And here's how they're going to line up on the pole. It's going to be the X221 of downtown Jerry Brown. Into his outside, the 27D of Derek Henson. Row 2 is going to be the 2A of Ace O'Neill and the 53 of Danny O'Neill. And riding shotgun all by his lonesome, the 56 of Mark Davis. Out of turn 4, green flag's going to be in the air. Super Stocks at Midway. Going to hustle on down to 1 and 2. Derek Henson going to jump out to that early race lead, but the 221 of downtown Jerry Brown going to try to run him down. Here comes the 53 of Danny O'Neill. He's cruising and bruising on the top shelf as he's already up into that number 3 spot. Danny O'Neill staying right on the top side as everybody else down on the bottom side. Oh, he got a little close to that backstretch wall. Now he's going to be like, you know what? Let's come down to the bottom. As it is Derek Henson, your race leader. Jerry Brown 2nd, Danny O'Neill 3rd, Ace O'Neill 4th, and Mark Davis, your top 5. Your only 5. Henson starting to create a lot of separation. As Ace O'Neal now coming up to challenge for that number 3 spot. As Ace O'Neal's going to have the P3 as they go down the back stretch. Danny O'Neal's going to drop back down to the bottom side. Going to drive it in hard. Derek Henson, he gone. Bye-bye. See you later. Jerry Brown's got a herd right on his back bumper. Ace O'Neal going to come right up to him. Danny O'Neal's there. Mark Davis back behind O'Neal in the 53. Now Ace O'Neal going to try to go around Brown on the top side. As you got a battle for second shaping up. Jerry Brown down on the bottom. Ace O'Neal to the top. Now to turn 2. It is still Jerry Brown. That's going to let Danny O'Neal squeeze in down to the bottom side. As look at the battle unfold here. Jerry Brown got them all over his back bumper. White flag in the air for the 27D of Derek Henson. Jerry Brown second, Ace O'Neal third, and Danny O'Neal fourth, and Mark Davis fifth. Your race leader goes into turn 3 as everybody else comes out of 2. Checkered flag wave for the 27D of Derek Henson. Jerry Brown takes second and Ace O'Neal third. That's going to be our only heat race for our Power Superstocks. Up next, Heat 1 for your B-Mods. On the poles, the 42J of Donnie Jackson and his outside the 5 of Robert White. Row 2 is going to be the 77 of Jeremy Hazel and the 5C of Brian Cook. Row 3 is going to be the 24 of Joshua Reddy. Lights are down. We're going to stack them and pack them bumper to bumper, door to door. As they come out of turn 4, you are going to see the green flag in the air. Oh, look at the battle going down into 1 between Jackson and White. White going to have it coming down the back stretch. Jeremy Hayes going to hold on to the number 3 spot. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Oh, we got debris. Debris. We have debris. It's a good chance that might be Jeremy Hazel's debris. Midwest Modified, your feature lineup is posted. Midwest Modified feature lineup is posted. You will roll out after the Hornet heat race. Midwest Mods, be ready after Hornet heat race. Here we go. Did not get a lap completed. We're going to try it again. Green flag is back in the air. Oh, Donnie Jackson off the power. And Joshua Reddy goes around. Yellow is out. Yellow, yellow, yellow. So that was interesting. Not 100% sure what all happened or why or what, but we're going to do original restart. Donnie Jackson on the pole. White to his outside. All right, here we go. Third time's a charm. We're going to try it one more again. Jackson Jr. up there. Robert White. Jeremy Hazel. Brian Cook. And Joshua Reddy going to round out your field. Down the back stretch and into 3. Coming out of turn number 4. Green flag is back in the air. Oh, buddy, looky here. Down the back stretch, drag race into 3. As Robert White's going to have the edge. Donnie Jackson down on the bottom side of the speedway. It is Robert White to the race lead. Jackson, Hazel, second and third. Followed in by Cook and Reddy. Now Hazel down to the bottom side of Donnie Jackson Jr. As Robert White says, y'all battle it out. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hazel up to second. As Jeremy Hazel moving into that number 2 spot in front of the 42J of Donnie Jackson Jr. It is all Robert White right now. He's out front. Brian Cook got Joshua Reddy down to the bottom side of him. That's a battle for 4th and 5th as Reddy going to take over the number 4 spot. Brian Cook going to shuffle back into the number 5 spot. It's all Robert White right now. Who's out front? Jeremy Hazel, Donnie Jackson, Joshua Reddy, Brian Cook round out the field. And they're going to go down the back stretch into 3, coming out of turn 4. 2 more trips around for the 5 of Robert White. Turn 4, we're going to see the white flag. One more trip around. Down the back stretch, we're going to go for the final time. Number 1. Coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag for the 5 of Robert White. Jeremy Hazel, second, and Donnie Jackson Jr., third. Here we go, heat 2 on the pole is going to be the 65 of Chris Jackson, and to his outside, the 2 of Eric Graves. Row 2 is going to be the 68 of Donnie Betts and the 28 of Wesley Briggs. Down the back stretch and into 3 we go. Jackson Graves on the pole, out of turn 4, green flag going to be in the air. Chris Jackson out front, going to lead him out of 2, and down the back stretch, Eric Graves going to be in second. Donnie Betts third, and Wesley Briggs fourth. Chris Jackson going to take lap 1. all Chris Jackson right now as he's out front. Eric Graves second, Donnie Betts third, and Wesley Briggs rounds out your field in fourth. And Briggs loops it around in 1 and 2. He's going to park it. That's a yellow, 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 yellow. Green flag back in the air. As Chris Jackson going to lead him on down to the 1 and 2. Eric Graves second, Donnie Betts third, Wesley Briggs rounds out the field in fourth. We are single file in our second and final heat of the B-Mod class. Wesley Briggs trying to run down the 68 of Donnie Betts while everybody is chasing that 65 of Chris Jackson. Chris Jackson almost a full straightaway on the field. Eric Graves goes high into the wall. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow is out for the 2 of Eric Graves as he slammed into the top of the wall up there in 3 and 4. Here we go, lights are down, green flag out of turn 4. And it is Chris Jackson, Donnie Betts, Wesley Briggs. The only remaining 3. Green flag is in the air. Chris Jackson leads the charge down the backstretch. Donnie Betts second. And Wesley Briggs going to round out your top 3. White flag, 1 to go. Wesley Briggs trying to make a move on the final lap. Checkered flag is in the air for the 65 of Chris Jackson. Donnie Betts second, Wesley Briggs third. And that's going to wrap up your POWRi B-Mod heat races. Up next, you got your POWRi Pure Stocks. Heat number 1 on the pole is going to be the 13 of Greg Dykstra into his outside, the 0 of James Reedus. Row 2 is going to be the 32. For your POWRi Pure Stock Heat 1 as they roll out onto the track. I already read the starting lineup, so as soon as they get lined up, we're going to go green flag racing with a little bit of pure pandemonium. Here we go, down into 3, coming out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. James Reedus goes right to the top shelf. Look at him here. Oh, the 232s get together. As Mark Simon's pretty much pushing Trevor Ellingson down. We're 3 wide through 3 and 4. As lap 1 goes to James Reedus. Trevor Ellingson second, Mark Simon third. Richard Adams going to move up into that number 4 spot. Greg Dykstra shuffle back into fifth. Uh-oh, Ellingson looks like he's off the power. Oh, Ellingson's broke. That left front's broke. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow is out for the 42 of Trevor Ellingson as he snapped a ball joint on the left front. Uh-oh. All right, we're going to do a single file restart. James Reed is your race leader. Greg Dykstra, Johnny Ray, Mark Simon rounds out the field. 1 to go from the starter stand. And they will be green flag when we come out of turn 4. Out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air. James Reed is your race leader. Mark Simon trying to go top shelf. Hits the end up. As Simon going to get into second. However, Mark Simon will have a 2-spot penalty as he jumped the start in a single file. Wherever he finishes, he will go back 2 spots. Right now it is James Reedus out front. Mark Simon, Greg Dykstra, and Johnny Ray rounds out your field. Simon starting to get a little bit closer to the 0 of James Reedus. However, Simon will get that 2-spot penalty. Oh, Mark Simon loops it around. And he's going to try to flip it around and keep rolling. We're clean and green with 2 to go. Out of turn 4, white flag in the air for the 0 of James Reedus. Greg Dykstra second, and Johnny Ray sitting in that number 3 spot. As Mark Simon pulls off the track and heads to the pits. Checkered flag waves for the 0 of James Reedus. Greg Dykstra second, and Johnny Ray takes home the number 3 spot. That'll wrap up heat 1 for your pure stocks. Up next, going to be heat number 2 on the poles, the 5 of Justin McDowell into his outside, the 9 of Brian Piercy. Row 2 is going to be the 21 of Peyton McDowell and the 195 of Tyler Dawson, and riding shotgun in row 3, going to be the 26 of Preston McDowell. Here we go down the backstretch. At a snail's pace. Green flag is in the air. Second and final heat race. As Brian Piercy going to be up there with Justin McDowell duking it out. Here comes Peyton McDowell, Tyler Dawson. They're going to be all 5 cars bumper to bumper, door to door. Out of turn 4, it is Justin McDowell, Piercy, Peyton McDowell, Dawson, and Preston McDowell. As all 5 cars are still bumper to bumper, door to door. Piercy trying to get that top side working to get up and around the 5. Preston McDowell waiting on Justin to bobble it so he can squeeze up in there now. Piercy bobbled it. That's going to let Justin walk away. Peyton McDowell going to come up into the number 2 spot. As Tyler Dawson going to try to squeeze down on the bottom side. Nope, Dawson going to go right to the top shelf. As Preston McDowell going to come around down on the bottom side. Dawson going to shuffle back to 5th. As it is Justin McDowell, your race leader. Peyton McDowell now, he's got something on the top side of the speedway as he's gaining some momentum. Justin McDowell down on the bottom side. Brian Piercy holds on to 3rd. Preston McDowell 4th. Tyler Dawson 5th. They're going to come out of turn 4. We're going to see 2 to go. Peyton McDowell to the race lead. The 21 coming up front. As they go through 3 and 4, you got the white flag in the air for the 21 of Peyton McDowell, Justin McDowell, Preston McDowell now up to 3. All 3 McDowell boys in the top 3. As they go down the backstretch for the final time, they're going to drag race into 3. As they go through 3 and 4, coming out of turn number 4, checkered flag for the 21 of Peyton McDowell, Justin McDowell 2nd, and Preston McDowell, your top 3. Up next, our final heat race of the night, going to be your Powri Hornets. On the poles, the 18 of Quincy Evans, and to the outside, the 2 of Justin Day. Row 2 is going to be the 45 of James Hartman and the 2M of Corbin Mooney. Row 3 is going to be the 25 of Landon Sturgeon and the 18C of Clay Chancellor. And row number 4 is going to be the 8 of Kyle Kraus. So we're missing 1 car, and I believe it's the 18C. Green, nope, just kidding. No, we are missing the 8 of Kyle Kraus. That's who we're missing. We're missing the number 8 of Kyle Kraus. Lights are down as we go into 3. Coming out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. Down to the 1 and 2, Justin Day takes over the race lead. Corbin Mooney to his back bumper. Here comes the 45 of James Hartman. As your top 3 starting to pull away from the rest of the field. it's all Justin Day, Corbin Mooney, James Hartman, your top three. Then you got Landon Sturgeon, Quincy Evans, and Clay Chancellor rounding out the, as Kyle Kraus was unable to make the call. Justin Day still your race leader. Corbin Mooney sits in that number 2 spot. James Hartman holds on to third. As they're going to come out of turn 4, you're going to see 2 more trips around for the 2 of Justin Day. Coming out of turn 4, white flag. Final trip around in our final heat race of the night. Oh, Quincy Evans is around over there on the backstretch. And we're going to throw the checkered flag for the 2 of Justin Day. Corbin Mooney second, and James Hartman takes home that number 3 spot.